Hey guys, so today is Tuesday, August 31st. Today we're meeting with Group B in class. Group A, you're going to be watching this video at home. So I took the liberty already. This is the notes key of going ahead and inserting some words. So you'll see that your version is blank, but you can see that I have actually already added some words. So what is this? Well, it's a word bank, a math word bank. So yesterday we talked about interpreting expressions. We were basically looking at these word problems, writing an expression, and using it to help solve a problem. Well, today we're going to kind of work backwards now. We're going to actually write the expressions based on like terminology or based on wording that's given to us. And in order to do so, we have to look at a word bank that's going to help us out. So as you can see in these boxes, we have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and then we have some turnaround words and parentheses phrases, okay? So we're going to use those before we get into the exit ticket. So if we look at the first box here, in the first box we have addition. Addition is a multitude of words, really, but these are probably the most common anyway. So you're likely to see the word add, you're likely to see the word plus, increased by, more, combined, or you might also see the word sum. And this is really important because sum is the total, right? Like that's the total. And actually total is another word that you might see. But it's the total of an addition problem, okay? So that's really important to know what sum is. So let's go through the example that's given to us here. The example of a written expression says the sum of a number and 4. So what we want to do is take it from words into the mathematical language that we all know. So what is the sum of a number and 4? So you see it says the sum of a number and 4. Okay? So whenever it says a number, you can just pick whatever number you want. But in this case, it's going to be x plus 4. It could also be 4 plus x, but we're going to usually write it in the manner that it gives it to us. Okay? So that's an example using one of the words for addition. Subtraction. Okay, some common words for subtraction. Subtract, minus, decreased by, less, or difference. And as you noticed, difference is the total of a subtraction problem. Okay, so that's important to know. So it's the total of a subtraction problem. All right, so let's take a look at the example that they give us. The example for subtraction, 3 minus a number. Okay, so again, minus 3, so 3 minus some number, okay? If you were to put this, it is not the same. And think about that. Like if I give you an example and I say, let's say x is 1. So 3 minus 1 is 2, but then 1 minus 3 is negative 2. It's not the same, right? These are not equal. So it absolutely matters when you're subtracting, and I apologize, there's my dog going crazy. It absolutely matters when you use subtraction, which order it's in, okay? All right, next one up, multiplication. Multiplication is multiplied times. You might see the words twice or doubled or tripled, but the most important one, of course, is the word product. Product is not the type of product that you were talking about putting in your hair, but rather product is the total of a multiplication problem. Okay, so if I have two items multiplied together, their product is the answer. Okay, all right, so let's take a look at the example here. The example says the product of a number and 5. So a number and 5. Those are the two things being multiplied. Well, that would be x times 5, or we could also write it as 5x. Okay, moving on. Division. So division, there are some keywords here. You have divided. Sometimes you'll see per. So they're like, 3 slices per person. Okay, so it tells you how many slices each person can have of pizza or pie or whatever it may be. You have of, the word of. So if I shot free throws and I went 2 of 3, well, that would tell you that it is 2 of 3 in terms of free throws, right? So that's how you use the word of. Ratio, which is also another way just to write a fraction, or you might also see it like this. Okay. Shared, and also the biggest one is quotient. So quotient is the answer of a division problem. Okay, so if I said 6 divided by 3, what's the quotient? The quotient would be 2. Okay, so same thing here. What is the, let's go through the example. It says the quotient of a number and 2. Okay, so when you're talking about division, again, order matters. So since a number is first, that's going to go first and divided by 2. So it's x divided by 2, or you could write it as x divided by 2. Either one is satisfactory. Okay, then we have turnaround words. So these ones are probably the toughest ones to get because there's only 2 of them. You can look at the word than or from, but what you're most likely going to see them at is less than. So the reason why we call them turnaround words is because when you see these words, instead of it being like 8 less than 10 and saying it's 8 minus 10, it turns around. Okay, you're going to flip the 8 and the 10. So this is the one time where the order is backwards, is when you see turnaround words. So instead, the correct answer for this would be 10 minus 8. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the example here. 5 subtracted from a number. So that's a turnaround word, which means that a number goes first and 5 goes second. So x minus 5 is the correct order of that, not 5 minus x. So be very, very, very careful. This is the most frequently missed examples. Okay, parentheses phrases. All right, so you'll see here I kind of wrote this up because parenthesis phrase is a phrase that's given that says like, hey, this should be in a parenthesis because order matters, right? We talked a lot about PEMDAS. Well, this is a situation where when given a algebraic expression, okay, sometimes you need parentheses to be able to dictate, okay, this is what goes first. All right, so sometimes it might be times, it might be divided by, it might be added to. It might say subtracted from the sum of blah, 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 blah. Okay, and what that means is whatever comes after the of is what goes in the parentheses. So whatever would be right here is what goes inside the parentheses. Okay, so I'm going to erase this here. It's not very confusing. If we look at the example, it says 3 times the sum of, so this is the after part, so that's what goes in parentheses, and then 3 goes first. So 3 times the sum of x and plus 1. And also recognize that it says the word sum. Sum is not multiplication, it is addition, right? So this is 3 times the sum of x and 1. Let's go with another one. Let's say it's 5 divided by the, let's say, difference of 6 and 3. So this one would be 5 divided by the difference of 6 and 3. And you could actually also write this one like this, 5 divided by the difference of 6 and 3. Okay, so that's really what it means when it's talking about parentheses words. It's telling you you should put these in parentheses so we know to do it first. Because remember in PEMDAS, like in this example, okay, in PEMDAS we would do 5 divided by 6 first. But that's not what it really wants. It says divided by the difference of 6 and 3. So 6 and 3 is what you would have to do first. Then you can divide it. Okay? All right, so for practice tonight, you guys are going to complete this exit ticket. Prior to that, we're probably, if you're in class for Group B, we are going to do a couple more examples just to make sure this solidifies. Group A, you're going to do this exit ticket. If you have questions, just let me know. But we're also going to go through a couple of them to begin class tomorrow. They will be in the 2-1-0 scale, so 2-1-0, or the API scale that we've done for all of our homeworks, which means either you get it all correct, you get it partially correct, or you have all of it wrong, okay? Usually if I'm giving you a P, like partially correct, it means one of your steps is right, but the rest of it may be wrong or something along those lines. But some part of what you're doing in that problem has to be correct in order for it to get partial. It's not just for showing your work. Okay, so finish that up for practice tonight. We're going to play a little Quizlet here in class, and we'll see Group A tomorrow on Wednesday.